The intention experiments I've run, and I've run 33 to date, and of those 33, everything from trying to make seeds grow faster, to purifying water, to lowering violence, to healing someone of post-traumatic stress disorder, 29 have shown measurable, positive, mostly significant effects.
We know now how if I change my consciousness, I'm creating molecules in my body, like stress molecules like cortisol and adrenaline, or rejuvenation molecules. I can be creating DHEA, I can be creating anandamide, the bliss molecule. There are all kinds of molecules I can be creating in my own body, and that's not a hard thing to imagine. What, though, is harder for us to imagine is that we are creating molecules or affecting molecules outside of our bodies. And there's some very interesting studies of water. Now, water, of course, is composed of 3 molecules, a big oxygen atom and 2 little hydrogen atoms. And so what happens in these studies is that when people place intention into water, it changes the water. And this change can be seen when the water is used to water plants. So when that intentional water is used to water plants, they grow faster, they grow bigger, and they have more chlorophyll than plants watered with ordinary water. And that's what the research shows. But now, with some newer experiments, we can see what's actually happening to that water molecule. So the water molecule, again, has 1 big oxygen atom and 2 small hydrogens bonded, and this bonding angle between them is 104.5 degrees. And it is always 104.5 degrees. It was discovered many years ago, and that's just a fixed number in chemistry. 104.5 degrees is always the angle at which that water bonds, except that when I take water and I hold water in my hands and I place the intention into the water of it healing, this bonding angle changes. And research shows that after intention, that bonding angle shrinks. It's different. The actual molecular structure of the water changes. Not only that, but people who can do this can often do it at a distance. So when they're intending for that water, and that water is in the next room, or in some experiments 1,000 kilometers away, the bonding angle of the water changes. So research that I summarize in my book, Mind to Matter, shows that human beings can affect all 4 of the fundamental forces of physics.
There is something in the extraordinary dynamic of a small or large group essentially praying together, because that's really what intention is in a way. It's a secular version of prayer, a request to the universe. And when people do that kind of thing, miracles happen, individually and collectively.
So when we talk about intention, what we're talking about is the combination of, it's not enough to see the outcome. I know people that have done a lot of what they call visualization, and they're frustrated because it seems like nothing happens. But if you think of the heart-brain system in terms of high technology, very sophisticated, soft, biological technology, not machines, tissue that's doing what we now have designed the machines to do are mirroring what we already do from within. So if you think about that, it makes perfect sense that in our mind, we would simulate the possibilities and model the possibilities and get it just right. Nothing's going to happen until we imbue that possibility with the power to bring it into our lives. And that's where the heart comes in. It is our love or our gratitude or our appreciation for that possibility that breathes life into the possibility.
One of the most powerful elements of these intention experiments is that they don't just affect the target. I started surveying my participants who were part of these peace intention experiments, and I was fascinated to hear back from them what was going on. Not only had they affected the target, but their own lives were becoming more peaceful. They were getting along better with their coworkers and even their not so nice boss. They had made up with estranged relatives or partners. They were more in love with everyone they came in contact with. 50% of my respondents said that. They were hugging strangers. Their lives had changed. I also found when we were doing healing intention experiments, people with conditions were getting healed. So this, I think, is a real mechanism for change, both among the individuals and the participants, but in the world at large.
Yes, by intent, I mean that if I change my focus, my feelings, my heart-centeredness towards you, that somehow that changes our relationship, but also somehow changes us physiologically, that we can actually measure it. And that is what the research is showing, that we can do that. It's extraordinary that we can actually, very simply, very cheaply measure something that's so profound.
In order to make energy move, we need to have an intention. And my intention needs to be using words that are active, as opposed to words that are inactive. For example, I don't want to lose weight, because that's a sense of loss. And the subconscious goes, I don't want to lose anything. So the conscious goes, I want to lose weight, I want to lose weight. And the weight starts to go, and the conscious says, okay, when you're not looking, I'm getting back what I've lost. Yo-yo weight, okay? So rather than that, I want to become lighter. I want to become slimmer. I want to become a size, whatever it is. So the intention is giving off active ingredients as opposed to the ingredients of loss. No one likes to lose.
Oftentimes people will set an intention that I'm only going to think positive, I'm never going to think negative. And so there's a distinction here that I would love to share that I think is such an important piece that so many people miss when it comes to being intentional about life and setting a goal or a vision for ourselves. If I feel sadness, and sadness doesn't have the feeling of a positive thought, we have a tendency to say, I'm just not going to let myself be sad. I'm just going to go over here and be happy. And in that moment, we've just made a decision to really discredit a part of our authenticity. We really throw a part of ourselves away in that moment. And that will be missed later if we don't go back and collect this. So to see the world as in my favor, I have to see that my sadness is a good thing, and that I'm going to gain something by allowing myself to experience that emotional state of sadness. It's going to serve me in the long run if I don't try to outrun it. So if I bring my attention onto it 100%, and I don't stay in my head about it, but I come into my body with it, what's going to happen is it's going to serve me instantly.